Alright, good evening. Tonight, figured it's about time for a nice, short, sweet to the point video instead of, half hour long kind of stuff. So tonight we're just going to be going over some of the basic acronyms you're going to want to know in the fire service. Now there's hundreds out there. I found a list of like 300, 400 of them. We're not getting to all of them. We're getting to the big ones you'll hear in fire school, more day-to-day stuff that's nice to know kind of stuff. We're not going to get into all the little teeny tiny ones. They're out there. You can find lists, but I'm hitting the high points. So ones that are nice to know for size ups. Recio VS. Rescue. This is all the, well, yeah, both of these are for scene size ups. Rescue, first priority. Show up on scene. Is there people hanging out windows you gotta go get? Yes or no? Okay. Next check mark. Exposures. Are there buildings nearby? Do you gotta be worried about the house next door? Big group of trees, that kind of thing. Check that box. Containment. Next up, contain the fire. Get it down to a room or the room of origin, or you get it where it's not growing in size anymore. After you get it contained, you extinguish it. You put it out, you soak it down, put the fire out. Overhaul. Self-explanatory. Tear into it. Pull ceiling if you have to. Make sure everything that's out is out. It's not going to rekindle on you. And then V and S are as needed. So ventilation. Sometimes you may not need ventilation. Sometimes you will. Sometimes you'll do a roof ventilation. Sometimes you'll put a vent fan in and blow smoke out. Situation dependent. Same with salvage. Sometimes there's nothing you can salvage. Other times there's a lot you can salvage. So V and S are as needed. Now coal was, now over here, wealth. This is more of a in-depth thing. This basically expands on Recio VS. I'm a fan of this one. Short, sweet, to the point, hits the high points. This one goes in a lot more detail, which I honestly had to look this one up. I knew it was a thing, but I forgot it because I lean on this one more. So, construction. Is this a, type 5 wood stick family home? Is this a type 1 big heavy duty hospital? That kind of thing. What type of construction? Occupancy. Is it a single family home? Is it a business where they're doing manufacturing? Is it a restaurant? Auxiliary appliances. This is specific for fire appliances. So, does the building have sprinklers, standpipes, and FDC that we'll get into later? Is there anything that'll help make us do our job easier? Life. Again, just like rescue over here, is there someone we have to go save? Weather. Is it really hot outside? Are we going to need to establish rehab in a hurry? Get a lot of water and get some Gatorade? Is it really cold outside? Do we need to get someplace, a rescue truck where people can climb in and get warm? Get some coffee? That kind of thing. Apparatus and equipment. What do I have with me? Am I going to need more? Can I accomplish the task with what I have? Do I need more engines, tenders? Do I want a ladder truck maybe? Street conditions. Are there a lot of cars parked around? Can we get a ladder in and set up if we want? Or are we kind of blocked in where we can only get one or two trucks close to the structure and then we're kind of stuck and walking in? That kind of thing. Water supply. Do we have nice solid hydrants? Are we on a dead end hydrant that we may tap pretty quick if it's a big, heavy duty burning building? Do we have enough tenders if we're rural water supply? If we're rural, do we even have our water supply set up? Exposures, just like the other acronym. Is there anything nearby I have to keep my eye on? Area, big building, small building. What am I working with? Or area, again, general. Is there an alley in the back that I can sneak in and get to the backside of the building with? Am I pressed up against, a beach somewhere and I'm kind of got to approach it from one side? Is there a big fence around the back that I got to cut through? That kind of thing. Location, kind of like what I said with area. You know, am I at the end of a really long driveway where I have to relay pump in from the road? Can I drive tenders back in there? Is there a nice big, driveway, big area where I can turn trucks around and maybe dump water closer to the building? Time, is it noon on a Wednesday and there's probably nobody home? Granted, we're still going to search, we're going to do our job, but maybe there isn't the sense of urgency at, noon on a Wednesday than there would be on a Sunday at 11 o'clock at night when everyone's at home asleep. That kind of thing. And height. Am I fighting a fire 8 stories above? Am I fighting it, in a ditch down below me? That plays into a part for pumping water and access, that kind of thing. So one's for general operations. Operations, kind of some special fire things. So can report. This is one that like an incident commander would call in. Hey, interior team, looking for a can report. Conditions: heavy smoke, low visibility, or in the fire room, room of origin, heavy fire, that kind of thing. Actions: we're doing fire attack, we're in the room of origin, we're hitting the fire, putting the fire out. Any needs? Hey, we need more water pressure. Hey, we could use foam. This is the fire's, in a couch right now. It'd be nice to get a little calves here, soak this down a little bit. Or hey, we could really use this window on the backside open up, get some ventilation going on in here. We got it pretty much knocked down. We need to get some of the smoke and steam out of here. Cool. PAR, Personnel Accountability Report. All this is frequently called either, every 10, 15 minutes during operations, that kind of thing, or if something drastic changes with the fire. So are we going from offensive to defensive? Did a wall collapse? Did the fire, vent through the roof by itself? Now are we having a lot more fire, more ventilation? That kind of thing. This is another thing that the incident commander would call in. It would sound something like, IC to interior team, looking for a PAR, Personal Accountability Report. Interior team to command, PAR 2 of 2, or 3 of 3, or whatever. Okay. IC to search and rescue, looking for a PAR report. 3 of 3. Okay. And that's basically so, yep. When a PAR comes in, you count. All right, I'm here. You're here. Everyone's still with me. Yep, all 3 of us. Okay. All right, you can radio out. Yep, we're all here. That's just making sure everyone is where they should be and we know it. Name it. This is for Maydays. So firefighter trapped, you're trapped, that kind of thing. This is nice to remember. Name. Who are you? Apparatus. What unit did you come with? Mission. What task are you doing? Emergency. What's the problem? Are you running low on air? Did you fall through the floor and now you're trapped in the basement? Are you tangled in a bunch of wires? Is it really smoky and you're lost and you lost the hose line and now you're away from your team and you don't know where you are? Intentions. What are you planning to do, or do you need anything? Hey, I'm lost. I'm on the hose line. I know we're going for fire attack. I'm going to follow the hose line up to my team or out. That's what I'm doing. Or, I fell in the basement. I'm trapped. I need the RIT team with a ladder to help get me out of here. Or, I'm tangled in some wires. I'm low on air. I need the RIT team with, air and some wire cutters to help get me out of here. That kind of thing. And time. How much air do you have? Do you have, 15 minutes of air remaining? 20 minutes of air remaining? Did you just climb in, to the building? Are you on a fresh tank and now you have probably close to 30 minutes of air? That kind of thing. How much time do we have to play before we really need to get you air? Or do we need to get you air now? So, for an example, Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. This is Firefighter Smith with Engine 1 doing fire attack. I have fallen through the floor into the basement. I need the RIT team with a ladder to get me out of here. And I have about 25 minutes of air remaining. Cool. Sweet. Next up is Blevy. Boiling liquid, expanding vapor explosion. This is what happens when fire is on the side of a railroad car or up around a propane tank, in someone's yard for a long time, where the propane starts burning off or whatever chemical starts burning off, and eventually the tank, whatever the pressurized tank is in, fails and there's a big explosion and metal goes flying everywhere and big mushroom cloud. So that's what it is. That's what Blevy is short for. So if you hear on the news, oh, there was a Blevy or that kind of thing, that's what it was. Or you hear, hey, we need a hand line to cool that propane tank. We're at risk of a Blevy, that kind of thing. We want to prevent, getting to that point where that might be a thing. That's what you do. That's what that means. IDLH. Immediately dangerous to life and health. That's the space that's going to kill you if you're not wearing the protective equipment that you need. That's, a house that's on fire or a big hazmat spill with a bunch of chlorine gas floating through the air. This is where you need, the fire, the turnout gear, the air pack, hazmat suit, that kind of stuff. That's where the average guy on the street would be in a world of hurt. Just, street clothes, nothing special. ARFF, Airport Rescue Firefighting. That's the classes you go to learn airport firefighting. If you talk to someone, hey, what do you do? You're a firefighter, what do you do? Oh, I do ARFF, Airport Rescue Firefighting. That's the people that, drive the crash trucks and put a lot of foam and water on the plane before it comes down with landing gear problems, that kind of thing. That's just, a specific, skill of firefighting, specific division of firefighting. And are nice. There's a lot here. Not a lot of pictures, but we'll make these quick. These are just a bunch of random ones that were nice to know. There's more out there. You can look them up, but these are the ones that, at least to me, I figured nice to have on hand. Beginning firefighter, that kind of thing. PASS. Personal Alert Safety System. This is, the little box on the SCBA that when you stand still for too long, it starts screaming at you and chirping and that kind of thing. So, hey, your pass alarm is going off. Shake around, turn it off, that kind of thing. That's what pass alarm is. MSDS, Material Safety Data Sheet. This is something that every business has to have for all their chemicals on the property. So, for example, now this is nice more so if you're in EMS, but fire, also nice. You go to a factory and they're like, hey, Bill here got some of this drain cleaner on his hands and he wants to get checked out, go to the hospital. All right, well, do you have the MSDS on it? Yep, right here. It'll tell you, all right, it's corrosive. All right, we got to flush his hands with water. Have you been doing that? Yep, all right, we'll keep doing that. Okay, wrap in dry bandages. Okay, we'll do that. That kind of thing. Or, that's more EMS side. Or if you're on the fire side, hey, you go to, another business. Hey, what's going on? Yeah, we spilled a bunch of this, cleaner and it caught on fire and we have a pool of it on fire. All right, well, you have the MSDS sheet on? Yep. Yeah, okay, here you go. All right. Okay, it's reactive with water. It's not corrosive. Toxic if inhaled. If on fire, put out with a dry chemical extinguisher or a CO2 extinguisher. Oh, okay. Now we have a plan of attack. That kind of thing. MCI, Mass Casualty Incident. The definition of a mass casualty incident is anything that you, with your initial resources, can't handle. So, in theory, if you're an ambulance with 2 people on it, 3 or 4 people may be an MCI. You may need a second ambulance. Everyone thinks about, the horror, the horror of, a school bus went over a cliff and there's 20 kids that you got to go get. Yeah. But again, anything that you yourself can't handle can be a mass casualty incident. ERG, Emergency Response Guide, or guidebook, as I have on here. This is the orange book that you learn really well in hazmat classes. It's got I think it's like 5 or 6 sections. This is the one where you learn real well, like I said. You go to the orange, there's a placard, you show up to a truck on its side, there's one of those, 4-digit numbers on the side. You take out your ERG, find the number that tells you what to do if it's on fire, put out with water, or evacuate a half mile if on fire, that kind of thing. That's more of a hazmat thing, but it is something you'll hear reference to. Hey, can you hand me the ERG, or that kind of thing. Now this doesn't look like it says anything because there's a lot of kind of made up letters in there to make it work. If you find it, this is pronounced HAZWOPER, so HAZWOPER. There's no P, but HAZWAR doesn't work. So HAZWOPER is Hazardous Waste Operations Emergency Response. They do a lot, again, with hazmat, obviously. This is more of a standard you train to, so like hazmat awareness, awareness, the first level of hazmat training you'd get through like a Fire 1 class or an academy kind of thing, will teach you to the HAZWOPER standard, If there's something leaking out of a truck, don't lick it, stay upwind of it, don't go smell it, use your ERG, that kind of thing. This is a standard you train to kind of thing. FDC, Fire Department Connection. This is for like a sprinkler system or a standpipe system that you'd hook an engine into. These are the, big water inlets on the side of the grocery store or the Walmart, that kind of thing, to supply the sprinkler system or, again, a standpipe on a big building. That's the FDC, where you hook in, a supply line to support the building systems. SCBA, pretty standard one. Self-contained breathing apparatus. That's the air pack. Our SCBA has a pass on it. Not to be confused with SCUBA, which is self-contained underwater breathing apparatus, which is what scuba divers and the dive team use. Same kind of thing, just one tailored for underwater use. Where you hear this one, alright, you're in fire school now, bring an SCBA, we're going to be going over how to, check an SCBA, or, hey, the Cascade, the air bottle truck is over there, take your SCBA cylinders over there to get filled, that kind of thing. ICS, Incident Command System. Probably the most boring class I've ever done, but what this is, and you do fire school long enough, or you're a firefighter, an EMT, or a paramedic long enough, you'll learn ICS. And what that is basically the whole, as it says, is the command system. One person can, reasonably control 5 people. If it's a big incident, you may need, a public information officer, and you may need people to coordinate with the police department and the water department and the street department, and everything has common language, so there's tenders and tankers and all that, big level. Well, it was designed for real big incidents, but it's scalable to like real small stuff. This is something you use without knowing that you use it, kind of thing. Aqueous film forming foam, AFFF. This is the firefighting foam that's all over the news and in the commercials. But it's foam. You mix it in the water, it soaks things down better, penetrates dense objects or hay bales and couches and soaks in better, that kind of thing. That's just foam or AFFF. That's kind of what the term is, interchangeably kind of thing. And FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Association. Ooh, come back here. FEMA. FEMA and ICS are kind of hand in hand kind of thing. FEMA created ICS. And what FEMA is they're like big and like, again, ICS planning for big emergencies, how to handle big incidents better. I know they do like grants, so you can apply to FEMA grants for new trucks and turnout gear and other stuff, that kind of thing. They're big in the whole preparing for incidents and that kind of thing. Well, thank you for watching. I escaped from the slideshow, so different ending than normal, but thank you for watching. If you'd like to see anything in the future, let me know.